This week on Channel 8 News, we'll take a look at the different COVID-19 strands, an art exhibit, and more. Your Channel 8 News starts right now. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 8 News. I'm Courtney Rowe. There are now up to 3 different types of vaccinations for COVID-19. However, we are starting to see an increase in the number of COVID-19 strands. Colby Holtman went around campus to see how knowledgeable our students were on the issue.
Thanks, Courtney. Now, it's been a little over a year since the coronavirus pandemic first started, and we have been bombarded with masks, quarantines, extensive virtual learning, and so much more. In fact, here lately, a bunch of people have been coming to the Hughes Fieldhouse here on campus to receive their first doses of the COVID vaccine. Now, over the course of the pandemic, we have seen a lot of different strands come to light. And so that raises the question, how many strands are there currently in the U.S. and around the world?
COVID-19 has affected us in more ways than one, as we all know, and recently they've been discovering some new strands. How many new strands do you think there are currently?
1 or 2.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
You think so? Why do you think that?
I don't know, just think some might be made up or something, I don't know.
Maybe 2, 3.
You think there's 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
According to the CDC, there are currently 7 different strands of the coronavirus out there in the world today. And out of the 7 strands, the 4 most common strands that are easily contracted are the alpha and beta strands. So what does this mean for future vaccine research?
So with all these different strands coming out, do you think there's ever going to be a vaccine that'll take care of the current ones that we have now? Or do you think that with the new strands, there's going to be it's going to take even longer to get a vaccine that works?
I think that it's going to take a long time, and especially with modern society, I feel like it's not going to be normal anytime soon. There's always going to be people wearing masks because they're going to be scared of the virus because, that's just what modern society has normalized, which is kind of sad.
I think stuff will be back to normal pretty close to the fall.
Oh, really? You think it'll be that quick?
Yep.
Are you hoping to see it that quick?
Yep.
Now, with new strands of the coronavirus popping up all over the world, will scientists be able to find a vaccine that is capable of taking care of all of these vaccines at once, or will it have to be through multiple different trials? Also, how many more strands are we going to be seeing in the near future? For future updates, make sure to tune into KNWT Channel 8 News for the stories that matter to you.
Thanks, Colby. Art pieces could be shown across campus as a part of an art exhibition. Callista Schaefer has more.
For the whole month of February, the Department of Fine and Performing Arts featured the work of ceramic artist Mike Stumbras. His work is inspired by historical production and is open to the public, as well as Northwest students at the Olive Dulce Fine Arts Building. To gain further insight, I interviewed ceramic professor Veronica Watkins, and this is what she had to say.
And so we have anywhere from, I would say, 4 to maybe 7 exhibitions a year, depending on the year. And so we all sort of take turns. And so this year, this was just the artist that I invited. So Mike is somebody who I had seen his work kind of evolving on social media, but not just that, like he has juried some pretty important shows, and he's involved in 323 Gallery in Kansas City. I've just been aware of him, and since he's in Kansas City, he's a really good candidate to come here because he could bring his work and deliver it and help install it, versus if I have to pay to have a show shipped here. You can imagine, like with ceramics being heavy and taking up space, it would probably get into the thousands of dollars just to have the work shipped. And so it was kind of a win-win scenario with him being close and just making really fantastic work. And he had the time in his schedule to come up and also do demonstrations for our students. So it wasn't just an exhibition, it was having him sort of in-house for a couple days so that the students could see how he works. And he also gave a lecture about his processes and his inspirations. And so that was really great too.
Reporting for Channel 8 News, I'm Callista Schaefer.
Thanks, Callista. Up next, warmer weather brings new changes. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Courtney Rowe. Warmer weather means the snow is now cleared from the roads, but there still are some things to look out for. Hallie Cornelius has the story.
Potholes are something that can be found all along the roads in Maryville. That is because when it gets cold, the snow and ice will coat the roads, and then when the water expands, it'll expand the cracks and the holes of the road, making those bigger as well. When the temperatures rise in the springtime, this leaves the roads clear but bared with more potholes. This can cause a lot of damages to your vehicles if you're not careful. I had the chance to talk to mechanic Sean Mackey about the damages it can cause and how expensive those can get.
Potholes can damage the tire, rim, and suspension components of a vehicle. Tires can cost up to $200, rims can cost anywhere up to $600, and suspension and alignment components can range from $25 to $100. It can be altogether a bill of over $1,000 if you're not careful, and destroy your car over time.
Street maintenance were out Friday afternoon filling potholes on Walnut Street. The substance they use is called Cold Patch and is able to be driven on immediately after. The process requires 2 people to fill the potholes and then flatten it to seal it on the streets. The city will continue fixing the roads as the weather gets better. This has been Hallie Cornelius reporting for Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Hallie. The weather has also made going to class much easier and more bearable. Noah Stevens went around campus to see how students felt about the warmer increase in temperatures.
As spring is just around the corner, we have finally started to have a couple of warmer days here in Northwest Missouri. After weeks of freezing temperatures, I set out to ask students how much they've enjoyed these warmer days recently, and if they would like to go back to our sub-zero temps anytime soon.
I'm ready for spring because it's really cold and I don't like that. I'd say I am ready for spring.
I'm definitely ready for spring, mostly because I'm about to start work here in a few days and I really don't want it to be cold when I'm out working and everything, so there's that. And then also we've just had a super long winter and it's also been super cold, record lows, so definitely ready for this cold to go away.
I'm definitely ready for spring. I do like winter, get to wear my golf jackets and all that, but I'd rather wear my golf jackets while I'm golfing in the spring, so I'm ready for that.
I next asked students what has made them happy about the warmer weather recently.
It's a lot more, I like being able to go outside, and it's a lot more pleasant walking to class when it's not freezing. It's a lot more pleasant going to class instead of walking in the freezing cold.
Definitely the sunshine. When it's cold out, it's not as enjoyable, and plus the snow blinds you. So I'm liking that it's warming up and the snow's melting, and we can get outside and do whatever we want.
Seeing all people outside and being able to go outside and not freeze is really nice.
You can be able to put some shorts on, it improves everybody's mood, and I get to get my moped out, so that's why I'm most excited with spring. I get to ride the moped to class.
After a harsh winter and spring right around the corner, it looks like Bearcats are ready for warmer days here in Maryville, Missouri. This is Noah Stevens reporting for Channel 8 News.
Thanks, Noah. The deadlines for studying abroad in the fall and summer are rapidly approaching. The ISEP forms are due on March 1st, and the others for the fall semester as well as the summer are due on March 10th. For more information on studying abroad, go to their office located in the J.W. Jones Student Union or go to their website. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back to Channel 8 News. I'm Courtney Rowe. Accusations of voter fraud didn't go away when President Joe Biden took office. Now, instead of using those allegations to try to alter the outcome of the presidential contest, some Republicans are turning their attention to changing future elections. CNN's Diane Gallagher has details.
The 2020 election is over, but Republicans in dozens of states are still using the baseless claims surrounding it, spread by former President Trump and his allies, to push new restrictive election bills. Experts say the link is clear.
It's just as much about keeping people who will not vote for them away from the polls as it is energizing their own base and getting them to be angry about election security, which is exactly the playbook that Trump used in the last year.
The Brennan Center for Justice says it's tracking at least 253 restrictive voting bills in 43 states. That's roughly 6 times the number from this time last year.
The bill received a constitutional majority declared to pass the House.
In Iowa, both Republican-controlled chambers passed a bill that would reduce early voting days, election day poll hours, and make it harder to absentee vote. That now awaits the governor's signature.
The bill carries and is on its way to rule.
In Georgia, the House and Senate are advancing bills that would drastically change election laws and restrict access to mail-in voting, even eliminating early voting on Sundays. In Arizona, voting rights activists are sounding alarms.
There are bills that would really harm access to voting, particularly for people of color, for low-income families, for Native Americans, and they're rushing through because we have to fix a problem that doesn't exist.
One bill would require mail-in ballots to be notarized. Another lets voters request a ballot by mail, but you'd have to make the journey to turn it in person. A bill that zeroes in on the state's permanent early voter list.
Well, that is all the time we have for Channel 8 News. For stories that matter to you, catch Channel 8 News every Monday through Thursday at 6:15 p.m. right here on KNWT Channel 8. From all of us here at Channel 8 News, I'm Courtney Rowe, and have a great night.